And you mentioned this earlier, Arn, but a lot of projects over the last, let's say, 4 years, posited mid-teen IRRs, and then went on to achieve like 40% IRRs. And that was awesome. I celebrate everybody who made that happen. That's not going to happen over the next 2 years. And so I appreciate that you were saying temper your expectations on top line going in, but I think a lot of investors who got in 2 or 3, 4 years ago have experienced some of those wins. Someday those days will return. That's just the nature of the industry. But for the foreseeable future, it's going to be much closer to what was in the offering memorandum than the pops that we all got over the last 18 months.
Yes, and I have a good partner, Brian Walsh, that I team with here in Greenville, South Carolina. And when we look at an investment, when we're talking to our investors and talking about returns and making projections into the future, we can't really control what happens to the national world economy. We can't control what happens to the local economy. We certainly don't know what interest rates are going to be. So there are factors outside our control that will impact the investment. That being said, there are factors that we can control, and that's where we have to focus. And most of them are around the operation of the property, right? If we're prudent in acquiring an asset and we manage it and run it professionally and effectively, maximizing its potential, we've kind of met our fiduciary duty to our investors, right? We can't control what the Fed's going to do, but we can run those assets properly. So I think it's important for the limited partner investors to understand how important the team running the asset is, because that's something that can actually be controlled. Other factors are outside our control. And I think savvy investors understand that life happens, things happen, macroeconomics, and that's going to impact returns. And it's good to be reminded of that. And that's what's happening now. We're being reminded of the reality of life.